It's only one, Sean. It's happening now. And before we get into happening now, I do want to take a moment to thank our friends at Oragenics, OGEN, because there are millions of concussions, but zero approved therapies. Oragenics, trading on the NYSE as OGEN, is advancing a new standard with its intranasal brain-first approach to concussion treatment. With an $8.9 billion market on the horizon, Oragenics is positioned to drive what comes next. See what's ahead and book a meeting today at Oragenics. Talk here about this S&P 500. We had a nice push higher here, specifically on the Nasdaq. I think it was pretty clear around 8:30 a.m. Once we get that, I think this chart might not be updating, so I'll see if I can get an updated chart here. Basically what happens here is here we go. At 8:30 a.m. we do get that lower than expected initial jobless claims print. That does buoy the market, even though continued jobless claims are a bit higher than expected. Here is the Nasdaq again on the 15-minute, pretty flat first bar. Second bar, though, trying to find a little bit of a base. So let's see if we end up continuing to hold this pre-market low around 621.70. That has been a level of support so far on the Nasdaq. Despite this being a holiday shortened session, there are actually quite a few interesting catalysts. So we'll start here with INTC, initially trading lower here after a Reuters report suggested that NVIDIA has halted its testing of this 18A process. It's worth noting this is actually kind of a footnote in the larger report. It's only like the last couple paragraphs of a much longer report, which I do recommend you read if you're interested in INTC. But either way here, Intel trying to recover off those lows. NKE doesn't need to recover. It is at and continuing to make new intraday highs as we get Apple CEO Tim Cook, who's also an independent director on Nike's board, buying roughly $3 million worth of Nike shares on December 22nd, just disclosed via an SEC filing. Another nice look here today, UiPath, PATH, that's going to be replacing Synovus Financial on the S&P Mid-Cap 400, effective as of the open on Friday, January 2nd, 2026. So guys, make sure you make sure you subscribe. Happy holidays to all and happy tradings. We send you, I think, for now, back to the Grinch and Mr. Diehard.
It's Hans.
I'm not the Grinch. I mean, come on. I mean, no, we are the Grinch.
You know what
I'm trying to sell down Intel.
So the whole thing was they were dangling him and
steal some Intel
to get a realistic shot when Alan Rickman was falling. They're like, we're gonna drop you on 3, and then they dropped him at like 1 or something. So he was like genuinely like, what the heck? Right, although I kind of figure, like to me, anytime somebody says they're gonna do something like that, like I'm gonna do it on, I'm always in the back of my mind like, man, you're gonna do it on 2 with some nonsense. Like I would have been skeptical in the first place.
There we go. What
a great villain he was.
Yeah, here it is. Yes, this is so appropriate. I didn't even realize this was happening. There's our thumbnail right there. And I just said I'm the Grinch and I'm stealing all the Intel shares there today, but I'm selling them right back to you, hopefully at a lower price. So thank you, Ramin, for doing that. That is awesome for that one. So yeah, if you guys have not hit the like or how many subscribers? It's still 450, 448. Let's get to 549. If we can get to 549 today, that'd be awesome. Yeah, let's pump it up right now as the Grinch stole Intel. And today, good trade so far, honestly, at this top side. I mean, it is what we wrote down, 36. It's coming here about 3 times into the 80s right now, and every time we shorted. We actually are just covering, like the reason why we're red on this stock right now is I had to cover some of this. So we got a little excited early on that 35 break, and then we shorted it into basically this range top, and then we didn't have that many shares. So this is gonna look like, oh my God, like how high did he hold himself against him? But you know, by the time it came back up here, this is when we started to load up the shares. So I was telling you, like we would have took like a 4-figure hit or so if it went up, breaking through this 36, but then we're able to get it out, and now it's coming back into the downside. So now we're okay with this Intel trade, and we like it. So hopefully that is okay there. And then the other trade that we had today was ASTS, Astis Space Mobile, ASTS Mobile, and that one had fallen right out. So the Grinch did steal Christmas for ASTS shareholders today. Although great, I mean, the Grinch didn't really do anything to Christmas, but it's a little bit of a move up. Like I said, 50% of a move. So the thing is like this launch was expected. And now that I'm thinking about this, the launch was expected. It was a success. It's already moved up 50% in a week. Probably didn't have to pull back, right? It's a whole like buy the rumor, sell the news. So the rumor is that this thing's going up in the air, blah, blah, blah. Everyone gets excited. It goes up there and it's like, okay, well now it's up there. So now what's the next story? So
at least it was successful.
Oh yeah. Remember, I mean, if it would have not been successful, we'd maybe go the other way.
What was the company? I remember us being live, but I don't remember the name of the company that had a launch. But there was once a launch for one of these like satellite companies, and we were live. And I remember we were watching, and we couldn't show you the actual launch, but I was watching it on another thing because we couldn't show it to you guys live. And I literally watched it blow. I watched it explode. And by the time I could even try to have the stock up, it was like halted down. I'm trying to remember what it was, but in real time, it was nuts. It reminded me of that. It wasn't that, Fabian, but it reminded me of that episode of Billions, where they did like a spoof of like SpaceX. It was like supposed Elon Musk kind of character, and the guy was on the rocket that was going up.
Right.
And I think it was Bill. I don't know if you watched Billions. I think it was Bill.
Billions? Yeah, I've watched Billions, but I didn't watch the last season.
Big Bill or whatever his name is.
Last two.
That
Yeah.
guy bet against.
So I was talking with Sharif here.
He had bet against the launch. We had shorted the stock, and like it literally explodes, but it's got the founder on the rocket. Right. Obviously the guy's dead, and he's going nuts celebrating.
Selling
he
it.
made like so much money.
Oh man.
It's like, dude,
I don't ever
Dollar
wanna...
Bill was his name. Like that. That guy was a character.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
It was totally based on Elon, that character.
Now it's ringing a bell there, but yeah, I stopped watching Billions. I probably should get back into it. Like sort of when I started getting into the crypto side of things and everything.
Well, I stopped watching it when they got rid of Bobby Axelrod.
Oh, okay. I mean, must have been a contractual thing there. Like, why would you ever? Okay.
He's the entire point of the show.
That's what I was thinking too, as well. Yeah, give me Sharif's lottery ticket. I'm gonna scratch it for him. This guy's at the gym, so I don't know. Apparently, I don't know if who knew exactly that this was happening today at 10 a.m. We do it every single time. There is a half day, so Sharif is hopefully on his way back very soon. There's Ramin. She will be taking over.
Hey, Ramin in the house.
For there.
Get some keys, Ramin. Set you up.
She doesn't even have a mic, I don't think, here. So she's a. Oh, she has
Pretty bunch up in here.
Oh, okay. So what's up,
Let's get some Ram Midday.
Ramin, give me a holiday tradition in Ramin's house. Nice, good. Yeah, we like traditions around here. So that's a good one.
Oh, is you're not?
Her mic is not on.
The mic on.
It is on. Maybe
just unmute. There it is. Now it's good.
I'm on Sharif.
Okay. Now we're back on. So
they're at home.
Yeah, they build forts.
Okay, I don't want to hear anything now.
Watch great Canadian movies.
You can't talk trash to us about mics after that.
About mics.
Ever.
No, I don't think it was her. I think it was Fabian didn't have it turned on or something. I don't know.
Set up.
Oh, it is Fabian's bad. Fabian immediately says it's his bad. He doesn't want any smoke from Ramin whatsoever. So, okay. And Ramin, how was the chicken salad sandwich that you had earlier?
I didn't have chicken salad. I had egg salad, and it was.
Oh, you did. That's right.
It just all fell out, so I just had bread.
Okay, because her and I were looking. We want the tuna, and there was chicken salad.
Well, there's going to be a bunch of everything.
Yeah, I thought it was tuna salad.
I always want the tuna.
I wish it was tuna.
Yeah, me too.
We eat enough chicken around here. Me too. Let's be real.
Right. Okay. So now that we have Ramin here, I mean, we don't normally have her here, so we're just going to go off.
I mean, I'm here. I have nothing better to do.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
nothing better to do. I can figure a couple things.
There's like a dozen donuts back there. I could be eating donuts right now.
Let's do Neil's scratch ticket there. Let's play some bingo, Neil.
No, here's the thing, Joe. I appreciate the scratch ticket, but my daughter absolutely loves it.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I want to make sure she gets the scratch.
All right. Buy one on the way home.
And for Neil, for you, I'll make special deal. All right. We'll go 60-40 on that one. If you win 60-40, special deal for Neil because the daughter wants this.
How about this? We both pledge.
How about you just scratch it out?
No, here's the stipulation I want, Joe.
All right.
If my scratch ticket wins, then at least 10% has to go to charity. That's all I can.
If you want to send your 10%,
Well, what if
buddy,
it's like $10?
And by the way, just launched. The Grinch just launched a charity.
Then I'll put a toonie somewhere.
We'll go.
Yeah.
We'll go 5% each.
I'm a charity.
That's how I roll.
Neil, I'm all about that. Ramin won $10.
I won $10.
So there's a nice
whole
percentage.
dollars.
Hey, Grinch.
There.
Grinch charity.
Grinch charity, yeah. So that's a good percentage return.
Grinch
Got one
I'm
more.
stealing everything.
I don't know
Thank
where.
you so much. Thank you so much.
See you in today?
Glossier, Mike.
You see, with this
If
one,
this is not Summer Fridays, I'm not interested.
What is
Okay,
that?
this
she is
better.
in
It's
today.
Glossier.
This one is for her. I feel like this is the money one.
Okay, so I can do it. I'll ask her.
Ask
Let me
her.
Just call her.
Okay, message her and say like, see ya, Joe, got you a scratch ticket. We want to set that up. I thought I was gonna win the big prize on the other one, so a little hopium on that front. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's go Tesla here. We're long 2190s.
Are you long? Okay. Oh, you got the TSLLs going on there?
See if we can get this working out here today. Find a potential bottom. Taking a couple attempts on this one if we want to talk about a little trading here in the Christmas Eve session, guys. We're going to have a little fun with it and see what we can get going. Maybe we found a bottom. 2180 is going to be that out, and maybe we can get a little pop up to 22s, or the same is going to be extremely weak there, folks. Let's pull up our chart and take a look at what we got going on for today. There goes the Nasdaq, slowly starting to recover there, guys. SPY. Oh, what's up, Sia? Oh, she's going on.
What are we even doing?
Joe got you a lottery ticket. Do you give me permission to open it?
Joe got me a lottery ticket?
Yeah, well, he got it for everyone. And then can I open yours?
Yes, open it.
Okay.
Is she not coming? Is she coming in or what?
Oh, you just hang up like that? That's it? That was like a mail conversation right there.
Wow.
We're usually real quick off the phone.
Keep
Make
it
sure
simple,
you play the
man.
game.
I don't phone anybody.
Tesla. All right.
Okay.
Nobody phones anybody.
I phone my mother, man. I don't. You know.
Actually, true
Well,
that.
I mean, everybody knows that dudes
Mom's
can
a
have a
boss.
10-second conversation and we get straight to the point, we get it done, and we don't need to.
Hold on a second. That's not always true.
Oh,
There's always that
that's
one
tough.
dude in your fantasy football league. You know who you are.
Hey.
Probably not watching, but you know exactly who you are. Where they'll call you up and just they want to talk to you like for an hour before bait and switch. It's like, this is the deal we're talking about. And then an hour later, they come with what they're actually willing to do. And some player that hasn't been mentioned the whole hour, he'll throw it in at the
Yeah. Well, you're better friends with them.
What are you doing? Are you just going
the
straight for the
pure bait and
barcode?
switch dude. Everyone else just gets to the point except
Yeah.
you know who, man.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. It's always nice to talk to your friends. That is for sure. So
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
both of you guys are live with your
Right now,
mics.
let's get maybe Ramin and I. So if we win this, Ramin, we'll go, what is that, a 75er right there. So
Hold on a
we'll
second.
go
Neil, any
40
winning is
each.
going.
Or no, we'll go 35, me, you get 10, and then Sia will get the rest. How's that sound?
Great.
I'm a good negotiator. Hey,
So this whole show is right now is like about a scratch ticket that's not going to win right here. So
Whoa, Katina, man, don't ever say that.
I would love for it to win.
Yeah,
You almost-
don't ever
just
say
scratch
that.
I mean,
the
we've
win
already
on
talked about the
Micron or
Grinch
something like that.
tax. There's a Grinch tax that will be happening as well.
By the way, NVIDIA's
I mean,
breaking
I-
VWAP. Micron's
I hope
continuing to
Sharif
go
didn't
higher.
drop like
the
that
Nasdaq
five.
literally just broke the high of the day.
Yeah, exactly. We still
Nasdaq HOD, baby.
this is
doing too much here, so not wanting to participate
I don't even
once
like that,
again
actually.
in this little bit of a rally that we're seeing. Who's leading the way, guys? Meta climbing a little bit higher up to 665. We have Rocket Labs performing half decently. I was looking at Rigetti this morning as well too, but if I were to guess and put my scratch ticket on anything, it was going to be NVDA off of its low. So there it is, help driving that market or the market a little bit higher. So a nice little bounce.
This is what I'm trying to say
here in NVDA.
You know, nothing better than portioning out fictitious winnings. I mean, we got to do it before it actually happens, right? Because when she wins 50 grand, then we have to understand that there was something that's on camera that we.
Who? Sia? She already lost.
But you could tell.
Oh, Sia already lost. Okay.
This camera.
Yeah.
But to the point of, you know what, on our trading floor, do you think traders would be attuned to like risk to reward and stuff like that and not play the lottery? But back on our trading floor, we used to do it. At one point, I know we had a guy, one of our traders, organized once a week buying lottery, and it was like for the entire floor. But if you really think about it, it was fun. But if we took that same money, you do that same thing, and then like once a month, you could have. Like everyone just chips in, and then once a month you're doing like a bar night or whatever. That's like
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, but it's only $5.
It was always just for fun, and then we joke. But you always had to agree. Like everybody, if you're in, you're always in. None of this. Oh, am I doing it this week or am I not? That kind of deal. But just back to the market for a quick second, because Micron is. I know we've been talking about the Nasdaq into the highs and NVIDIA was pushing and whatnot, but it has really been Micron. And again, no particular story here. You know, the data names have just been strong. Micron, another all-time high. SNDK as well. You're going to see SanDisk. Do I believe this is frothy? Absolutely. Just waiting for Micron to turn. Whenever Micron decides to turn, this one's going to get dumped a little bit here, I think. But yeah, 6% up for SNDK, super strong move for them. And yes, Joe is correct in saying NVIDIA was joining the party by breaking the volume-weighted average price. But it really has been the Micron story for a lot of it here. Apple, as we speak, and the market's breaking higher, Apple stopped leading and starting to pull back. But the chips looking at least a little bit stronger than they did before here. just got to keep it a bit back to the market. Just remember, guys, it's 10:15. But really, this is effectively lunchtime, market closing at 1 o'clock. There is a bond, there's like a 7-year bond auction at 10:30. Usually those are at 1 o'clock. I seriously doubt it moves the market, but if you see like some kind of liquidity play in about 15 minutes or so, it's a 7-year bond auction that's coming in a little bit early. Everything sort of shifts. Like the imbalances will be at 12:30, we get the early looks, and then at 12:50, you are gonna get the imbalances come out. So everything's a little bit earlier.
Yeah, we should be good to go here. No, it's not that. No, we'll stay. I have nothing. I'm not going to go. At this point, I'm going to go to the gym. Sharif was at the gym today. He needs it more than I do, so I'm glad that he was able to go and do that.
An hour 45.
Yeah.
We'll get a little.
Yeah, maybe I'll come back around like 12:30 and let Sharif go that extra half hour in there. That'd be nice. He could definitely.
What do you need help with?
Oh, Ramin, I want to know some. Hold on, I'm going to talk to Ramin here for a second. So, Ramin, how are you doing?
So good.
So good. We like that one now. All right. Tell me a stock that you've most recently bought. It doesn't.
I bought Netflix, but I don't remember at what. I was waiting for it to go to 95, and I think I bought it, but I don't remember exactly at what. I just went buy.
So you like Netflix there, being in media and everything, maybe with the Time Warner.
Well, when I heard that the Oscars were coming, or no, sorry.
That's
something about the Oscars.
Isn't it the Golden Globes? There you go. That's what I thought.
And if everything is just gonna go like streaming, because if Oscars is on YouTube, so obviously Netflix.
Right.
I don't know. I think there's gonna be something with that.
Okay, I like the Netflix look there. I like the live sporting events as well. Which shows are you currently watching? I mean, are you watching anything? You got a movie on your mind? I know you got Arthur you're talking about, but any? Did I hear that there was a new White Lotus coming?
I didn't hear that.
Better be.
Let's go.
Okay. Just starting some false rumors over here. That's about all that I do around there. No, Sia, I guess Sia is not coming today for everybody.
For sure they're going to make it. It was too successful for them not to be continued.
3. Yeah, there's 3 of them.
Of course they're
at
going to be
least.
continued.
You asked her, she's coming.
I thought I was watching something last night and they said like new season of White Lotus coming soon. I'll look it up. Yeah, maybe there is not.
I'm asking Gemini right now. That's what you...
I don't know when it's being released. There is one coming. I mean, February 16th? No.
No, that's
too near.
Gemini fail. Gemini just failed.
White Lotus is starting casting.
Oh, maybe I should.
I was wondering what that email was. Okay, I'll have to respond to that at some point. There, figure out what time's a slow time around here, then we can go. I mean, I'd be fun to do that. I was wondering which kind of city White Lotus you'd like to be in. Like, I don't know.
That's the question.
Yeah, so exotic so far. There's some Thailand.
Thailand.
The best.
I agree.
Yeah, Thailand, and there was Italy, and then there was, what was the first one was Italy, Thailand?
Well, you guys think the location you like the best or the actual season you like
Hawaii,
the best for the show?
I think it's both, though, with that one, Neil. No? That's 2, isn't it? That's season 2.
I don't know if that was my favorite.
Or whatever it is. I think the Thailand one is the best.
It was good.
From
my favorite.
all spectrums.
Great. Either way, it's a good show. I love
that. The part 2 of Stranger Things come out today? Chat.
Stranger Things.
Is it tomorrow?
I haven't even started.
Oh, he's back.
Part 2.
Usually watch Stranger
Part
Things.
2 of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I thought Stranger Things was on like episode. Oh, like the second episode, you mean, of the last season? Aren't we already in the last season?
I haven't watched the last season of Stranger Things, so I don't even know anything.
Oh, the second half of the last season.
They split it into 2 parts.
All right, Sharif getting all set up here. Ramin is leaving us, so we have to say that's a fail.
By the way, big turn in NVIDIA just now. Okay, remember, NVIDIA was looking a little bit better. Can we quickly come to my chart? Because anyone that might be trading, to me, there's nothing too crazy happening. But NVIDIA was trying to break. Look at that turn. I can tell you at the same time, like I was sort of sitting in a revert in silver, and even that broke trend, headed out. I'm done with that. So like this was the one shot to get to VWAP and continue, but it's pretty much gone. And at 10:20, I'm definitely done with that at this point. Like I'm not. There's no reloads anymore. Just sort of go into holiday mode. But with NVIDIA couldn't hold on to that bid, I'm skeptical that the Nasdaq's going to hold on to this move. When you get a reversal like that and the Nasdaq's already topping, could be Turnsville as we speak, unfortunately.
All right, we'll go small cap recap with Adara. Neil and I will be back around 12 p.m. and then we trade the last hour. We should have some fun and it will be good time. So thank you everybody for watching with us. Back over to Adara, then back over to the bros from the Midday Show. Bruh.
Definitely going to be a small cap discussion on the midday, I'm sure. But right before we transition to that, I do want to talk here about some of the small caps. I'm looking at SOBR, Sober Safe. This one, as mentioned by Sean and Neil, no catalyst today that we could find, but it is actually at intraday highs, more or less. Market cap of just over $4 million, float of 1.21 million shares. INDP, this one falling off a little bit, but it did gap up this morning. I'll talk about the catalyst because kind of an interesting one here. Indaptus Therapeutics announcing via a Form 8K that David Lazar, who's an investor in the company, bought 1 million shares between their Series AA and AAA stock, and he also has now become the co-CEO of the company. Last but not least, DVAX, Dynavax is obviously more of a buyout play than the traditional small cap, but Sanofi agreeing to buy DVAX at $15.50 per share. This is going to give the company a $2.2 billion valuation. So guys, make sure to like and subscribe as we send you over to the Bash Brothers for this midday.
Hello, Sharif. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Oh, no.
Hope everybody's having a great Christmas Eve. I am not ready, and I won't be for another few minutes. So if you want to give it to Joey, I'll let you know when I am ready.
Absolutely, man. We're just posted up right now. We're not going to get too carried away or anything here today. I mean, leading into the holidays, we had a couple attempts there on Tesla and one on RKLB that didn't work out. So we don't want to go in with bad vibes or anything along those lines heading into the holiday with that Christmas spirit. So I have no issues. We're just relaxing here on today's session. Maybe we can catch a little bit of a fill here on the SPY short as NVDA is starting to sell off aggressively. So I'm looking at the SPY, everyone. Posted up at 10s, 68, 689.10, but it's starting to bleed aggressively and going without us. Yay, always fun, no fill. All right, well, we'll be patient. We'll wait to see if we can catch in something. I did cross, and there it goes, starting to hit targets. What the hecky? So yeah, it is what it is, guys. Tesla not catching a bid anytime soon. I mean, you only have a couple hours left in the session. SPY, let's head over to that and see where I'm posted. And we didn't get it, just runs right into the levels, and then you don't get that priority fill. I'm switching all my gateways to Edge A. That's it. It's that simple. So there it is, a nice little move to the downside in the SPY, kind of departing without us, but that's okay. Maybe we take one more stab here on RKLB and go small size. Go really, really small. Yeah, I like this. RKLB, let's get involved in some Rocket Labs here, guys. For a potential long, we're going to keep that bit up here on SPY, and then we'll get involved in some Rocket Labs going small size. Just a little bit of a lottery ticket, right? See what we got going on. I don't know which of the boys won. I know Ramin won $10. We have one more. This was Sia's. She didn't win anything. That's all right. Hopefully someone else can get the W. But let's go Rocket Labs. You can see, oh, you still got Sean and Neil up there. I don't know if we want to change that up.
It's like time, it like switches over automatically because we're technically early.
Yeah. Okay, so there you go.
All right, hello, everybody. I don't have my headset in yet, so if you're gonna speak to me, that's the guy you wanna speak to, I'll put that in. Here's what we're looking at, guys. SOBR, looking the best of the bunch at the moment. Just got into the high of the day. We're talking about a 295 touch and drop into 270. Still trading above that 260 flat top break. I want to say it was once, it was twice, it was OB freaking thrice before we took out that 260 level, and then we glanced, not even so much touch, but glanced at 295. Sober is up 110%. Wonder how long this one's going to be sober after it gets its hands on the eggnog there, Joey. Is very, very soon. SOBR looking real good. I'm going to be looking to pick this up as it's dropping down into the low 70s. The 60, I want to say the 60 to 55 penny area is my buy zone. Reasons for that. 55 pennies, the 10 EMA on the 5. The flat top break, 260. That creates a buy zone for me. 5 pennies wide on Sober. Alas, it looks like it is holding trend. What do I mean by that? It means it's holding prior bar low. So if it's going to continue to ride trend and not breach prior bar low, then I can talk about the buy zone all I want. It's not going to reach that. area, at least not yet. So sober, looking at working my way into this. EUDA, beautiful look here. 46%, going on 47, 296 highs. What's going on over here? 295 high on one, 296 high on the other. Love it. EUDA is the ticker. Let me throw that in. This one just breached the volume weighted average price not that long ago with this topping till candle. But one observation I can already make here about EUDA. When it makes an intraday high, it is quick to retrace. Look at what happened over here. We get the breakout right at 9:30. We pop up, we take out the pre-market high, 264. We drop all the way back down to 229. We do it again. Once we break above the volume weighted average price at 950, we print that 296. We drop immediately down to 250. So that has to be part and parcel of your plan if you're going to trade UDA, especially if you're going to hold it into an intraday high, and that by definition would be above $2.96. So UDA in focus for me. And as you can see here, QBTZ, obviously not a small cap gapper, but you know, the pickings might be a little bit slim today. I haven't really looked that deeply at the scanner, but you know, a cursory view showed me that there wasn't too many, so we selected this one to be part of the bunch. 922 high. I'm reluctant to say anything off the 10 EMA, and the reason I say that is because it hasn't touched the 10 EMA, not once, since that 930 breakout. So I'm gonna have to figure out a different way to work finagle into this if I get into it at all. And we're also looking at EWTX. This is a bit more expensive of a name, and it's not really up all that much, but we're gonna keep an eye on EWTX is the ticker. A good higher low, higher high pattern, but we put in the biggest red candle since 945, not that long ago, still trading above 25 and a quarter, excuse me, where the 10 EMA on the 5 is. I'm also looking at SIDU. And now SIDU has been a multi-day runner. It had a horrible day the day prior, I want to say on Monday, a bit of a recovery day, didn't really do too much. Today, having a decent day, but substantially, obviously, below the highs that we put in on Monday. But SIDU, looking to put in that upward channel. We are talking, of course, about the higher lows and the higher highs. That's how I would trade it, at least for now, to keep an eye on SIDU for a channel breakout as well above. I want to say that 2 1/5. Last but not least, AMCI, we're going to look at that. This one's got multiple topping tail candles into 880. It looks as if, though, the selling comes in quite aggressively at the fifth of a dollar. And the reason I say that is because there's no closing prints on the 5-minute chart above that 820. So even if you are to get above 820, 30, 40, 50, you should be on the lookout for a reversion. Also, it is a bit of a spready one. AMCI is the ticker I'm talking about. We're going to pause for a second. We're going to Adara.
We have to talk NVIDIA here. NVDA just dropped over the last couple, like probably the last 10 minutes or so, last few 3-minute candles. I'm not seeing any news on this, guys. I do want to let you know, no news that I am seeing right now. Social media here, there have been a couple of mentions as is usual for NVDA, but I am still not seeing anything. I'm going to keep an eye on that, keep you guys posted, but I do want to address it just given the size and significance of this drop. Back to you.
For that, Adara. All right, let's take a look at Rocket Lab. So it did a little liquidity grab before and stopped me out, and then Dice to go on a nice little run right there. So we go 0 for 2 on Rocket Labs, and we go 0 for 2 on Tesla. And let's see if we can get this SPY. And then maybe we just sit on our hands, relax a little bit, do a little TA for you guys, and go over a couple charts, right? Leading into the new year, some potential solid opportunities. People talking about Nike this morning. I mean, I think it's going to be relatively cool. Maybe leading into the new year, obviously, we have another trading session, which I believe is going to be Boxing Day, a Canadian holiday, not so much in America. And then you start to head into New Year's Eve. So there's a couple of more. So, yeah, I mean, there it is, guys, a nice little bounce. It looks like SPY is significantly stronger than what we got going on in the Nasdaq. Why? Probably because of XLF, JPM, and company as the financial ETF continuing to climb a little bit higher here, guys, on today's session. What has JPM been up to? Oh, yeah, there you go. A nice move on JPM all the way up to $328. And there it is on the day, a new all-time high on JP Morgan and Company right there, 60% off of those April lows. So some phenomenal numbers coming out of the banking sector here, guys. I like these names quite a bit. I think JPM is going to be my next allocation. I used to own it a while ago. One of my first options contracts was JPM, actually. JPM, XOM, and Amazon were my first couple of contracts.
All right. There goes AMCI. Okay, so this one rocketed up. I think we were speaking about this one. We were at about 780, maybe 8. It just popped up. Easy as you like, into 929. Very strong, but it has a propensity to reverse. Bless you, Ram, after making intraday highs. So we just got to that 929. There's 933. There's 944. Here comes 950. The strength very, very much in play at the moment on AMCI. There is a seller at 48 or 49. There's a 50 touch, but no continuation above that 50 penny area. AMCI has got a lot of gas right now. No real breaks, at least into the $0.50. Be on the lookout for the move here. What an aggressive move on AMCI. I just got into silver. I got into that 60 penny area that I liked. It's already losing 60 pennies, so we're going to keep an eye here on the volume weighted average price, and we're going to punch in there for a VWAP hold. Come hell or high water, we're going to hold this one into VWAP. VWAP is exactly at 239. So our stop goes below that. It's really that simple. We end up stopping out. It's really a matter of statistics, whether this play was one that I had a shot to make money on or not. So we'll put in some profit takers there, and we'll put the bigger beak wetters towards the high side. We're going to go ahead and post here at 69. Let's see what we get on this one. How's the other one doing? AMCI, another high of day, 985. This one is on the way to 10. It blew through that 50 penny seller like it didn't even matter. Limit up on AMCI is 1005. As we get into 980, there's 85. There is 99. 1005 limit up. As you can see on my level 2, that red rectangle, that's now 1017. Here's the limit up parameter. For a moment, we get a false halt dropping back down. So keep your eye here on AMCI as it deals with that $10 area. I realize that it's above $10 by 17 pennies. That is the high, but it hasn't decisively cleared $10 as of yet, at least not the way I'm gauging it. So great strength today in AMCI. We're going to keep an eye out on that one. We'll see if it wants to rest up a little bit here before we get in. We're currently involved in SOBR. I'm looking for this one to hold VWAP, otherwise we're out. EWTX is another one that I mentioned. EWTX, let's go and have a look at this. A bit more expensive of a name. How's the spread? It's quite wide, 16 pennies currently. I haven't been really watching it, so I'm not sure if that's good or bad for this name. But it is a very, very predictable stair-step up pattern. So I would say look to prior bar low for your entry there, as this one hasn't touched the 10 EMA as I spoke about since essentially 930. So that's another look there. How's the trade on SIDU? SIDU, let's take a look at that bad boy. 1 penny spread, very nice, very nice. I'm more inclined though on SIDU to trade this as an upward channel rather than any sort of breakout, at least for the moment, until it takes out that 2 1/5, and then we can have a different discussion. It looks though as if the selling comes in mostly at 15 pennies, despite the fact that the high of the day is 220. That was a quick touch, and then a drop back down. So SIDU should be in focus as well, Joe.
All right, cool. See, I thought you weren't in today. We got Ramin to scratch your Christmas present. It wasn't a winner, so that's all right. Anyways, guys, all right, let's see what else we got going on. We're short here the SPY. We're long some Google. If they're going to work, if they don't, then that's totally fine. It is what it is, just looking for some quality opportunities. You can see some indecision prints being formed here on Tesla right around the low, so buying pressure slowly starting to kick in here, but volume really starting to cool off. There goes Google cracking through that low of the day, so a nice turtle shell type price action and a key neckline. So I was like, do I go with Tesla or do I go with Google? And yeah, I mean, Google was my choice there, so we'll continuously sit in this. We're not heavy on size or anything like that. I took my stabs earlier on Tesla. playing Rocket Labs and full risk. Now I'm just messing around with about 10% or so, considering we only got about an hour and a half left here, a little bit more. We'll give the boys some time. Google, yes, we're looking for that move back into the volume weighted average price or the top end of the range around 313.50s. That would be ideal. But XLF holding up the SPY relatively strong, guys. We're positive on the session, about 1/5% here. So not too bad. We can go through a couple other names. We'll run through our scanner and see what we got cooking up on today's session. So the stock scanner, when I first came in this morning, relatively cool. SLV right there. So here it is, guys. SLV starting to cool off on today's session as well. Nice one yesterday. Sell below the volume weighted average price, and then a nice covering rally from 10:30 on to the end of the day, just continuously grinding higher. And then you head over to the daily on this one, and yep, you guessed it. Yes, this morning, new all-time high with a slight gap up there in SLV. Nice. Let's go. Google, get that move going on. RGTI, a couple days of some solid price action. Now back-to-back red sessions in the quantum space. I was looking for a continuation in strength. Doesn't seem that we're going to be getting that just yet. BMNR, oh my days, off of this previous pivot high. We'll go with this one. You're down currently 55%. If we were to zoom out even more, it doesn't get any prettier than that, guys. You're looking down 80% roughly from that previous pivot high. Here it is, 82% on BMNR. There goes Google. All right, finally we're starting to get a little bit of a double W here, Sharif. I didn't think it was going to be one of those days, but we'll take it. All right, cool. We're going to head it over to Adair momentarily, and there goes Google to the top side. We're going to look for 313s, guys.
This part of the show is brought to you by our friends at eSignal. Traders, listen up, because the first month is free. That's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize, because our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. So do not miss out. Execute your best trades now with eSignal. Are you ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Back to you.
Your teams will post up right at that level. Let's see if we can catch the fill. And there it is. Bang. We got it on the ask. Not quite the bid just yet, guys. So let's hold off. Let's post up there. See if we can catch a fill at 313, or we might reject it.
There goes AMCI. Boom. All right. Great trade on this one. We're holding threes. We wet the beak up into 50s. Very aggressive price action. Anything below 77s, 977s gets me out of the trade. We're holding shares on this one. We're back positive after getting stopped out initially. Again, anything below 77s ends the trade for me. Let's go ahead and take off a little bit more here as we zig and we zag. So it looks like the convoluted trade. I'm sorry, because a lot of the what's it called? Well, let me just get those off. Okay, come on. I don't know why it's not taking off my orders. You gotta love that, Joey. Unreal. Look, it's not taking off my orders.
That's crazy.
I know. I think it's cool. I think it's good. I think it shows how well the platform works. So good look there. Let's see if we can just flatten out there. See, it's not letting me flatten out. This is really insane. Okay, you're gonna have to take over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Maybe because of
unbelievable.
Or so. There it is, guys. We'll take a little bit more out on
Unreal.
Google as it's climbing higher. This is what we want to see. So finally, a winner on today's session. Hopefully, it wasn't going to go over 5 today on in the intraday. Considering, so there it is. Google. SPY not doing too much as it's putting through almost at the high of the day. So as soon as we crack that level, we'll just get out of dodge to see if that short not working out. It was more aggressive in the Qs just due to the fact that NVDA was selling as well, but you bounce right off the volume weighted average price. I like what the boys were saying not too long ago. Just say a slow grinding market can definitely be one that just goes to the top side.
I can't get out of the position. So.
Did you try your thing?
Yeah, okay. I tried the thing, but the thing isn't working, sadly.
Oh, no.
None of the orders are working. So, well, we're gonna have to take the hit. It's gonna go against me. I can't get out of the position. So. Yeah, that's cool. All right, we'll look the other one over here. We're doing well here on SOBR, popping off into 60 pennies. We got shares on this one as well. So let's see what we can do. There's the print into the high side. Let's go ahead and set up some more. 64, we're also gonna get up into 69. We'll set up there. There goes into 62. We also went up, set up in the 70s. SOBR very strong, very directional, holding off on the volume weighted average price. So not a bad look whatsoever. I don't know why it's letting me take some out of Sober, but not letting me take anything out of AMCI. It makes perfect sense. Let it go, baby.
Watch.
Sorry? Okay, I don't even know what the hell they just said. But anyway, okay, so keeping an eye on AMCI, seeing if that one wants to bleed a little bit more. It actually let me get out of a little bit there. I'm not really sure why it let me out more there, and then it's not letting me out of the last remaining amount. We got only a couple of shares left on AMCI, so I guess that's a good thing there. But keeping an eye here on Sober, because we still have a lot of shares on this one, looking for that continuation into 295. Technically, the high of the day is 295, but we're really looking for a 3 move. Prior bar low takes us down to 242, but that was the volume weighted average price right into 240. So not a bad look there. We're going to the big desk. Still not letting me out.
Let's take a moment here to look at this sector board. Lots of green, but there are some, some smatterings of weakness, not in really any individual sector, though. We'll start here with finance, which is incredibly strong. Once again, we had basically a strong week for this sector across the board. Health tech doing really well with Merck up 1 1/5%. Super non-durable strong, of course, Nike leading this sector. NKE pulling back a bit, but still relatively close to intraday highs after independent director of the board, Tim Cook, coming in here with a 50,000 share NKE purchase. We've got consumer services strong, health services strong, communications strong, retail trade strong, Costco doing really well here, same with CVS. Non-energy minerals is the one sector that might be lagging a little bit here. And then, of course, tech services, bit flat. We do have some red here, mild red here for Google, AppLovin, CrowdStrike, and PanW. So these cybersecurity names getting hit a bit. If you go up to electronic technology, strength across the board, but 2 of the chip names in here, INTC and NVIDIA, are to the downside. Intel, for what it's worth, did have that story earlier today from Reuters suggesting that NVIDIA has paused testing its 18A process. Make sure to like and subscribe as we send you back to Sharif and Joe.
Cool.
All right, I got out of AMCI. It's a fantastic morning, Joey. The orders actually worked. I'm surprised. I'm shocked that the orders are actually working. Okay, so we're actually out of that. Good look. Now we have to focus on SOBR. This is still putting in a defend of the volume weighted average price. If we can go to the chart, but 260 seems to be a bit of a level here. So we really can't print anything aggressively above 260. But having a further look at the chart, we already encountered 260 as a key area of technical resistance. Look at the 5-minute bar at 935. That rejects 260. We get back into that level again at 950, rejects 260. Finally, we take it decisively at 955, and then we use it as support. We use it as support for 10 o'clock bar, the 10:05 bar, likewise with the 10:10 bar, the 10:15 bar, and then we actually defend it again, 10:25. We lose it at 10:30, and now we're using it as resistance again. So we're going to keep an eye out on this one. Really anything below the volume weighted average price does end the trade for me, but we're going to look to see if we can take the higher lows, which this one currently is still putting into the 270s and 280s. So that will be my focus. Also, I want to mention QBTZ coming back down into an interesting area of technical resistance, or technical support, I should say. QBTZ right into that 875 area. It has a breakout from that area as well, because that was the implied balance high. Kind of put in a 3-4 candle consolidation right after the bell. Comes all the way down, a bit of a U-shaped upside down V retracement into 876, finding a bit of support. VWAP is at 870, so that will be the focus for me there as well. So those are the ones I'm looking at. I'm also keeping an eye here on EWTX. If it pulls back into the 10 EMA, I'll be picking it up.
All right, cool. Yeah, so there it is. We're starting to finally get a bid here in Google, heading right back towards VWAP. Tesla was my ideal one. I mean, we were just a little bit too early on the entry. Thought we were going to curl over here, puts in some nice indecision prints, and I decided to go with Google instead of Tesla for the 3rd attempt there. So, I mean, it would have worked out pretty nicely. You can risk just the low of the day. Once it's formed that candle, we can go to 53s approximately, and that's a pretty good stop out if you ask me. It is relatively tight, 10 cents, but then sure enough, you get a nice 2-to-1 as we're currently trading at that specific target right now. So GOOGL going to be our trade of the day as JP Morgan and Chase & Company continuously climbing higher. Nike strong earlier this morning. I mean, if you look at it from a daily, it's just a recovery from what it went through on the earnings report. You had that massive gap down, and then now you recovered a little bit of that move. Again, my buddy was asking me about it. He's like, hey, what do you think about Nike? I just stand in the retail space. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I mean, if you're the most popular brand on the planet, essentially, and this is what your chart looks like, no thank you. I'm just going to avoid that and head into something else. So Nike at 178, now trading at around 58 bucks, 67%. This is going to take some time for it to recover. So that's what I think about Nike and some of the other names. As for Tesla, there goes NVDA starting to get a bounce. You're seeing the volume start to kick in, guys, on the lower time frame, so not too bad whatsoever. At 187, now look at the 1 minute time frame, volume really starting to pick up. How does that work, though? That doesn't make any sense. So we had the volume start to spike up. It's now transitioned to some selling volume, and then sure enough, now the volume drops off on it. It's slightly odd. Let's head over back to our scanner, guys. We can take a look at the options chain if there's anything specific that you guys want to go over leading into the new year. Once again, we do have an expiration cycle this Friday, so keep an eye out on that one. DJT, I don't know why this one's up here. IBIT, I was selling some calls on this position. I'm going to let it go soon and just grab some shares of something. I like some prices on some names. Maybe we get involved in some Meta, and something else is, what is another one that's, it's not coming to me, Netflix. Maybe we'll just go the share route. I do own some in my long-term account, so aside from that, but let's head over to this scanner. That's the small cap scan. We're going to head over to this one. Who's putting in the most volume today? That's going to be SLV, guys. SLV with 33.6 million shares traded on the intraday session, forming this candle. I like this. If we hold this bottom, then I might take a potential long back into the volume-weighted average price there. Nike INTC was selling aggressively. Nice recovery rally here, pre-market dump, and then sure enough, you're starting to recover on the intraday session. Baito, this is more or less a dividend play. They offer a lofty one, that's for sure. It's really hefty. I remember a member on the floor, if you guys remember him, Yanni was involved with this for quite some time. Novo Nordisk, a nice pop out of the opening drive, starting to give it back a little bit of that move. And as for American Airlines, travel space continuing to be relatively hot, Sharif.
Good, good. AMCI heading right back up. Sorry? Okay, yeah, thank you very much for the super chat, Jock. Happy holidays to you as well. Thank you for being on. We're keeping an eye here on EWTX as this one continues to trend up into 27 bucks, 27.02 high. Gonna look to pick this up, I wanna say at around 26.5. I wanna put my order at prior bar low. So that's what I'm looking at there. QBTZ as well, continuing to run, but we don't have that one on a trading screen. Let's put up QBTZ on the NQ. Good look on this one. Good, nice bounce there off 875 and heading back to the high side. We could be persuaded to punch into this, so we'll go ahead and get some in there on QBTZ. Of course, not letting me in. All right, cool. We can't trade that one. We'll have to look at something else. Let's look at EUDA. On the NQ, also trading bull flag-ish here above the volume-weighted average price, give or take at 260. Moving into 270 is EUDA. Not a bad look. Looking for that break above 275, 280. That's where mostly the closing prints end up rejecting. So we're going to have to keep an eye out on that, of course. Pardon me. Let me just get out of my trade here on Sober, as this one is losing the volume-weighted average price. And so SIDU is another one that we've been looking at. Into 14s it goes. I think a pickup here at 10 would be good for a possible range trade into 20. That would be another interesting trade. This one's been putting in higher lows throughout, so if you ride trend into the higher lows, that could be another interesting trade as well. But I'm reluctant to trade AMCI because obviously our system has a bit of a glitch with this one. I don't want to get back in and not be able to get back out. Another one that I didn't mention was RGTZ. This one is also quite strong. All these ones are quantum derivatives, so they're leveraged ETFs, obviously. And this one just breached through 19, RGTZ. Very good, very strong on this one. A lot of defends here into the volume-weighted average price, whether it was earlier at 950 or into 955. You also have a double bottom at 1035 and 1040, both of which defended VWAP almost to the T, and up into 1910 it goes. 1926 high. We'll keep an eye out on that one. EUDA is the one that I think I'm going to work into now, so I'm going to throw in some orders, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, yeah. And Jacques, thanks very much for that super chat, brother. Much appreciated. We know you're an everyday viewer and always paying attention, contributing to the chat, so that doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you, thank you. Now, as for some of the other names, there's the SPY, guys. We got all out of that one, rightfully so, right? It's continuously grinding higher, put in a new high of the day. We don't want any of that smoke. I posted up earlier for this move, but never caught the fill. Then I'm like, all right, I'll just keep that bid there. We just caught one there on Google, so keep that in mind. A nice move here back to the top side on SPY, but there it is on Google, right at VWAP. We take some off. I only have approximately 30% left of the remaining position, so not a bad trade whatsoever here on GOOGL. All right, guys, so there it is. Nice indecision prints, continuous buying pressure. It's just the subtle moves that you see in these signals that step in. I think this could be a next potential target, 313.60 as that potential level. There's Tesla, a nice recovery. Obviously, the one that we don't take works for us the best, but we can't complain considering we have a nice trade on right now. Heading back to our scanner here, guys, gonna be a nice, cool one. FJet, what have you been up to? I know you've been trading relatively strong there, guys, so a nice move in Starfighter space. I like that name. 13 bucks. What was our previous high on this one? Oh, okay, $32. Damn, you take a hefty haircut right out the gate. These IPOs can get most definitely very volatile, guys. All right, so Adair, what do you got for us?
Gonna keep it brief, guys. Not too much to say here. Again, we're still in that downtrend here on the DXY and the daily, but we're trying to find some support, as I mentioned here, around that 97.8 level. We did briefly breach that today, but trying to do a little bit of a bottoming tail candle. So let's see if this becomes temporary support, or rather continues to be temporary support or immediate support here for that US dollar. I also want to mention here, economic data, obviously not too much. It is that shortened holiday session, but at 8:30 a.m. we did get a lower than expected initial jobless claims print coming through here. 214,000 jobless claims versus 223,000 expected. Continued jobless claims, though, is a different story. 1.923 million continued jobless claims versus 1.9 million expected. So higher than expected continued claims, lower than expected initial jobless claims. Market initially did spike on that, as we send you back to Sharif and Joe.
All right, yeah, let's go through a couple more names here before we send it back to my brother. UNG, U.S. Natural Gas right here, nice indecision print off of the lows. I think this is a potential swing trade there. We have New Scale Power as well. I was liking a swing on this, but once this signal failed, I got out of dodge. The volume stepped in. I thought that you'd get a little bit of a continuation to maybe 25, 27.5, even 30 in a best case scenario. Doesn't seem to be the situation just yet. XLF, yeah, I got to get involved in this one here. I got Selena XLF, I'm pretty sure, in Walmart, so that's not too bad of a look there. IREN bouncing off the lows. All right. RN Limited, Palantir, what have you been up to? Just moving sideways, essentially, on today's session. And then we have SoFi still within this consolidation. I mean, if we head over to the Qs, let's do this quick, and the SPY, you can see that we're just forming this range. In quite some time, I said, I think this is condor territory, right? I don't think we're going to put in any all-time highs in the next couple of weeks or anything like that. I could be totally wrong. And I don't think we're going to break through any necklines. So a nice ebb and flow within the overall markets. There's the Nasdaq and the SPY, the exact same thing. So if you've been setting up condors, I think you've been pretty successful so far this year.
All right, guys, I've got nothing on. So if you guys want to tag me, let me know what to look at. There's nothing that I like, so I won't be trading into this holiday shortened day. Nothing really setting up for me. Sober lost VWAP. AMCI I won't punch into because it's too risky. Won't be able to punch out. EUDA as well. Just not showing me enough volume, declining volume profile at that. EWTX, too many higher lows and not enough retracements off key levels. SIDU is a range trade. I'm less inclined to want to trade that. KYTX, a holdover from yesterday, breaching VWAP. RGTZ is a derivative of Rigetti. And then I'm unlikely to want to trade that because it's not a strictly small cap gapper. T-Money saying ZPTA. I looked at that. There's no volume on that. I don't know what you want me to look at. There's basically nothing to look at there. So here we'll show everybody. So this is the weekly on that. We'll go to the 5-minute. I mean, it's done no volume. I mean, it's done 200,000 shares. This is not for me, at least as an intraday trade. So yeah, OMER, we'll see OMER. Yeah, trading below the volume weighted average price, gap up into 1750 earlier on at 1050, losing trend. If we can get back above that 16, 15, 50 area, we could have a look at that. AZI, let's have a look at what Casey's talking about. Yeah, not bad. A little bit low on volume as well. This one, about 946,000 shares on a 3 2/3 name. Not too bad, better than some things that I've seen. We can throw that one on there, AZI. In case it catches a bit of a bid, we might be able to jump into that. It looks like it has some support at the volume weighted average prices or the 10 EMA, can't quite tell. So that's an interesting one to look at. Other than that, really, it is really only AMCI kind of putting in a bull flag towards the highs. Which isn't a bad look, obviously, on that. But with the system issues that I had, I don't feel comfortable punching into this one. But AMCI is the best looking one of the bunch at the moment. It's the one closest to its high. It's the one putting in the best pattern with a bit of a bull flag. In fact, as well, it's got higher lows, and it looks like it might be inclined here to take out that intraday high at 67. So that's another interesting one. Open, let's have a look at Open Doors, see what that one is up to. Bring in the black chart. Yeah, not really Open Doors day today. About 10 million shares traded on the day, but negative. It's down 1/3%. In fact, it tried to get above that 629 area and then actually rejected. So it looks like there's a 30 seller. It really is the AMCI show, so keep your eye out on this one. I'm not going to be touching it because of the system issues, but yeah, this one definitely is looking like it's going to take out 1067, and there it goes. It takes it out 1097 now as it works its way into 11. AMCI is the one. Won't be trading it.
All right, guys, for too long, trading meant risking your own money or never having enough to start. The fear of losing, that's what kept so many traders on the sidelines. But that's changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets with this limited risk trading model. Traders use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits, no fears, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading, powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. There it goes, Gorev. I was risking 10 cents on this bad boy here in SLV. You can see that we're in at 63.90s. We were going to get out at 63.80s, and there we go. We hit a 2-to-1. So what will we do? We'll take a little bit off the top here. Nothing substantial, maybe 20% or so, and we'll leave the rest as a runner. So we'll post up at the 10s. Oh, okay, we caught a fill at 7s. That's not too bad. So we're docking up a second win of the day. So it's been successful so far, still slightly red, but nothing that we can't come back from. I mean, there's not too much time. The last hour or so is going to be relatively quiet, in my opinion. We'll hold this until we get stopped out, break even, or we hit some more profit targets, 64.20. We'll take that all day. Why were Gorev and I long? I'm going to show you right now. So here it is, guys. Google's starting to come back in as well, but we have plenty of room to breathe here. Lots of 5-minute indecision prints. Boom, buying pressure, buying pressure, buying pressure. Look at this indecision print right there. That is a beautiful signal. I think you should up the size. That is B+ if you ask me, even borderline A- setup right there. So you want to try to push as many shares as you possibly can. Let's go SLV. Make sure those risk measures stay tight, and don't ruin your holidays by going too heavy when you shouldn't.
EWTX got a bit of a retracement, so this could be the opportunity to get in. It's still an 11-penny spread, though, on EWTX. Touches the 10 EMA almost to the T and then rockets right back up. So you feel like the buyers certainly were sitting there with some resting orders right around the 10, pardon me, moving average and popping right back up into 70. So you're already 20 pennies in the money, but it is a little bit too spready for me at the moment. SOBR continues to try to work its way back above VWAP, so I'm not going to trade it until it gets above the $0.50. The $0.50 as well is where the 10 EMA is, and I kind of been observing this a lot lately where one of these small cap gappers will lose the 10 moving average on the 5-minute chart, where it's been using it as support almost the entire morning and then has a tendency to start using it as resistance. So if that's going to be the case, we're trading below it right now. In fact, technically we are below VWAP as well. So it doesn't meet my requirements. Let's see what we can possibly do here on not EUDA. On EWTX, let's load up that bad boy now. And see if we can get into that. Showing me 69 right now with 62 on the bid, 76 on the ask. I see the 10 EMA at 36, so it's gonna have to come down a little bit more. That way I get it right at that 10 EMA, and there it is, stepping in right into that 45 penny level. Let's see if we can get a mid print. We do get, I believe, 45s there. So we'll give it a little bit of room. I mean, I can give it to, let's say 26. So we'll go ahead and say 26, 26, and if it ends up stopping out there, it ends up stopping out. So 45 showing up here on the ask. Let's go ahead and wait, see if we can possibly get 55s and then 69s as well if it gets a price spike up and resumes trend. Also want to post in the high 70s and high 80s on this one. Again, we're only risking about 20 pennies, having gotten in, a little bit less actually than 20 pennies, having gotten in at 45, and let's see if this one wants to hold the 10 EMA at 26. AMCI continuing to dance near that $11 area for those who want to trade it. It's still a 1097 high, and it's got a lot of volume. Really picking up as of late. The volume started coming in late at 10:30. Almost now 10 million shares, a little bit less, 9.1 million shares traded on AMCI. So very good strength. Clear $10. I would submit to you that the $10 level is a bigger hurdle than 11, more psychological resistance likely at 10 than at 11. Not a hard and fast rule, just one of observation. Look for a decided break above that $11 area and then possibly a squeeze to 15. This could become a multiple halter, especially if it gets more volume and some shorts get squeezed. EWTX, we're still holding on this one. We're in the money on it. It looks like to the tune of 5 pennies on the bid, more on the ask, but it's got to cross my first profit taker to get involved there. So it still hasn't shown up on the position board, but we do have 45s in at that now. All right, a new high of day here on AMCI, touches from 97 into 99. So only a 2 penny bump there, but it's just showing you the accumulation and the strength on the way to that $11 whole dollar break. So be on the lookout now. This could be the trade, and it could squeeze aggressively. As the price action develops, I'll keep you guys apprised of what the limit up is. Limit up, it just breached it, 1144. Limit up is 1188 now. On AMCI, 1188 limit up, 1144 high of day. This one is the one as it closes in on the 100% mark there. Good look. EWTX, we're doing nicely on this one, showing 75s now on the ask side of the level 263 on the bid. We got shares on this one as well, and we'll wet the beak over here and we'll look for continuation into $27, Joey.
Man, what a pop here on SLV. I was just messaging my boy Gorev there, 63.90s. We're in flat. And then you get a massive pop. The data's not displaying here. I'll pull up this chart. This was a nice move. Yeah, a really nice move. That's what I was talking about, just going a little bit heavier. I have no issues with just the size that I'm on right now. It's relative. Whoa.
Oh, dang.
Oh, damn. What is that one there?
That's for you,
the Appleton Estate, baby. This is what I'm talking about. The Jamaican rum. All right, this is the 12, number 12 right there. So that's some good stuff there. As SLV continuing to climb higher. See, the thing is, though, Neil's a hard liquor guy. I'm not really, like, aside from tequila, dark stuff, man. It's a dangerous, dangerous game to be playing. There goes SLV. All right, we're going to post up a little bit more here at 60.24. This is some big-time stuff. Is this for the fridge here, Neil, or what? Because I know it's running a little bit of low. So the stash will put the Black Panther right. We'll put the, oh, hold on now. There you go. Got the Black Panther on there. Shout out to Obi. So, yeah, I mean, there it is. A nice little move on this one. No eggnog for me. We're hitting the beach soon, Neil. I'm going to be on the beach soon. I can't be drinking that eggnog just yet. We have to stay with the fitness regime. But a nice little move in SLV. We got that Phil Sharif looking for 64.35. This is going to be our next potential target. I only have 40% of the position remaining. We'll take half of that. No, we'll take 30% off there. So we'll post up on that specific zone. Let's see if we can get an additional bounce in goggles as it's slowly starting to come back to the break even. So the two better trades of the day, GOOGL and SLV, guys.
Good look, good look. All right, we took more prints now, about almost 40 pennies in the money here on EWTX. Good strength off the 10 EMA, but still well below the high of the day. The high of the day is north of 27 at 27.08. But it really is the AMCI show. This thing continues to go. It is now an 1184 high of day, 1185 high of day, and I feel like I'm gonna have to keep, repeating what the high of the day is because it's going to change so much. It looks like it might be on the way to 15. I mean, you really don't know where these ones top out. Usually they find some sort of round number and then they stop at it, but AMCI is really on the rampage here and a good breakout, especially above $11 where we had been having some issues of resistance earlier, 86%, closing in on 100. I can't quite see what the limit up is at the moment. 1238, I just got a quick flash of it. So 1238 limit up on AMCI as it works its way a lot closer to that $12 area, 1285 high, guys, about 15 pennies off there. I'm seeing an ugly candle come in now on the EWTX trade. I'm going to continue to hold this until it loses the 10 EMA on the 5. I think I have an advantageous entry, having gotten in at 45s, but I also realize even if I've got a good entry price, the spread on this one right now is almost 20 pennies, 42 on the bid, 61 on the ask. That means I can have slippage of 20 cents per share if I try to get out here in a panic situation. So I'm going to keep my eye out on this one. I still see that it's defending trend, so I don't want to be quick to jump out of it, but alive to the fact that it is a bigger spread on this one, and as a result, I have to take into consideration some different risk management parameters. AMCI just dropped aggressively into the $0.50, give or take, working its way right back into that $0.75 area, and now about 10 pennies or so less than the high of the day. Now we just flashed 1180s. There's a seller here at 80. I think limit up now is 1258. So fantastic strength on AMCI on this holiday shortened day and a great amount of volume. Limit up is 1250 on the dot, at least for the moment. But there is a seller at 80 on AMCI that we can't quite shake yet, so be on the lookout for that. Great look here for AMCI.
All right, man, good look. Yeah, we're continuing. Man, this SLV trade, I was just thinking to myself, like, there's so much tomfoolery in some of these other equities. It's like, why don't I just trade silver? When it displays its signals, the probability of them working are significantly higher. I've been noticing that. And the same thing with gold. There's no really, like, liquidity grab, fake them out. It just prints the signals, and then it goes off on its merry way. And there goes SLV. We're just continuously catching the fills here. Some good reload opportunities. Gaurav, I really like this trade on Palantir as well. Why? Let me break it down here. So essentially what we have is a nice move to the top side, and you can see that we're having these multiple bar pullbacks, and then you start to recover, right? The volume cools off. And then look at this one here, guys. You have that move. The volume starts to slowly uptick before you start to come into the pullback. Now, as you run into this pullback, the volume is diverging. You can see it start to stair-step down. And then sure enough, it puts in this indecision print with a little bit slighter, higher volume, and it closes completely as, oh my days, as SLV is continuously going, as I'm rambling on here about Palantir. Never mind that. Nice trade, Gaurav. We like those. We like those prints. Remember what I said, and I'm going to stick by it. Every individual candle tells its own story. There it is, SLV, putting in a new 63.90 we were in. We were risking to 63.80s, and you get that nice move to the top side. Chris Persad, $15 super chat. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year's 2026. Yes, I mean, why not? How does this saying go? Not one day, day one. So don't wait until 2026. Start today, start tomorrow, and get those goals rolling, whether it be hitting the gym, being more patient in your trading, trading less, trading more, just kind of finding and circling what you need to improve in for 2026 and start right now, because why not? It's the end of the year, guys.
AMCI on the way to 12.5. Great strength, 1247 high now, 95.75% in Greensville. Looking to go 100. I mean, we don't really need much more. 1301 limit up. So keep your eye out on that. I'll always mention that to you guys. And you can see it yourself on my screen just by looking at the level 2 and the red rectangle that shows up every now and again. You see it on the bottom there. 1301 limit up on AMCI. Really, really good strength. Nothing bad to say about this one. Still holding here on EWTX, looking for continuation above 75. That's 2 candles now on the 5-minute. The 11 and the 1105 candle, both of which have highs into 77. So there is a $0.75 seller in and around that level. So be on the lookout for that. Continuing to watch AMCI as it works its way into the $0.50. Good look. Not a bad look at all. SOBR losing VWAP, and it's been basically putting in lower highs and lower lows ever since it basically started that $3 touch. It was $2.95, and then it was lower highs and lower lows all throughout. So be on the lookout for that as well. Keeping an eye here on AZI as well. Shout out to KC526 for pointing that one out. AZI on the NQ. It's got 375 high. What I do like about this one, I don't really like the seller at 370, but I do like the fact that it is putting in higher lows into that $0.75. So we'll be on the lookout, not today, Ram. On the way to 375. So we'll keep an eye out on that, and let's see if we can get up a little bit higher on AZI. SIDU, not too bad either. Kind of just, range trading here. Oh, sorry, where's my SIDU trade? Oh, I took it off. Okay, we'll take off EUDA. We'll put SIDU. Yeah, finding support at the volume weighted average price. I want to say about 203, 204, but it really is not putting in any higher lows. So despite the fact that it is holding VWAP, I'm not really inclined to want to jump into this all that quickly here on SIDU.
Damn, this stuff's 43%? I thought it was 40%. All right, man, that's some big boy stuff. All right, guys, SLV, Gorev all out at 64.58. No runner. He's all out of that joint. At the volume weighted average price, I think that's a pretty good play there, Gorev, as the market is continuously grinding higher. One of those sessions, so let's go, man. A nice little trade. Hey, man, we could have had more shares on this one, but that's all right. We're gonna be thankful for today for what we have come Boxing Day. It's gonna be a different story. All bets are off. It's going back to, we're going full size savage mode. So let silver drop back, and I'll buy more, says 1320 Wolf. Very interesting. I think silver and gold, I really want to get involved with these names. I mentioned before sitting on some cash, but I just have such a hard time buying it all the way up here. But we've known what these names have been up to, the commodity space. Like if you go back to April, let's see if we can get this to work for us and not embarrassing. All right, let's see what we got here. So April, we'll get it now, guys. All the way up here, you get 142%. Come on, dudes. This is crazy stuff. Let's head over to GLD. Same thing, roughly, maybe even a little bit more. I'd still like to get involved. Waiting for those pullbacks. They're relatively shallow. Look at this stuff. Like, you don't get much. At this point here, when we were at this neckline, I'm like, oh, okay, we're definitely going to come back and test this. No, you put in a new all-time high there. Let's head over to April of 24. Where are you? Yeah, I mean, there it is at the April lows. You're up substantially. Not as much as SLV, but not too bad of a look whatsoever. Still sitting in Google, still sitting in SLV. If we can break through the volume weighted average price, I'm going to take my last out, Gorev, so I'll be in that same boat as you. Not much left up here, so we'll post up at 64.60s to see if we can catch that fill as it's heading right into it, Gorev. Watch, excuse me, watch out, brother, because this could be a nice and final out here in SLV. Thank you very much, Todd Edwards.
All right, worked into AZI at 68s, I believe we have. We just took out some 73s, layering the orders into 77s, 80s, 88s. Let's see what this one has to offer separately. EWTX, taking out my order in the low 90s, but still trading south of $27. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is it took out the seller at 75 to 80. That seller, at least for, a moment, got removed. We'll have to see if he re-ups his position at that level or if he's a profit taker, whether more sell orders come in. What I'm looking for is a decided move above 27. We've got, I think, 3 triple tops on the 5-minute chart from 1045, 1050, and then the 1055 candle, which ended up being quite red. That's the candle that got me into the trade because it found support at the 10 EMA. The problem is, even though we're putting in higher lows, we've got topping tail candles on all these 5-minute candles right here on EWTX. Well, what is a topping tail candle indicative indicative of, especially into an area of technical resistance? Well, it's showing you that the short sellers are really not, you know, losing conviction in their trade. And that's why you get, you know, the aggressive buying, which leads to higher lows, but you get the topping tail candles because the sellers are selling into the buying and they're not relenting. So be on the lookout for that, because we're really unable to close anywhere near the candle high. And you've seen that now for 3 candles in a row. So I am acutely aware of that. So we'll be on the lookout there. But AZI is not disappointing. Casey, I hope you took this right into 376. Now it's showing we got 68s on this one. A nice breakout trade happening right now on AZI. I'm posted at 80, which is probably a little bit too lofty of a price. Let's go ahead and post here at 74, see if we can get a mid print on that one. And there it is, right up, takes out all my orders right into 80, but it didn't cross on 80, so it took out the other 2. Let's see if it can cross above that now. It is a 75 high technically, but as you can see there on the ask side of the level 2, it is showing 80. 4 penny spread, not bad. I've seen it wider. Case, I don't know how about yourself, whether you saw this a little bit wider. Tightening up now into 2 pennies, 78 on the bid, 80 on the ask. Waiting for the cross above 80. I don't think we're going to get it quite yet, so we'll have to pack the patience there. How's the other trade doing here on EWTX? Looking fantastic as well. Up into the high 80s it goes, and it's got prior bar. It's putting in higher lows relative to prior bars, so that's the trend I'm looking for. But AMCI might be giving you a pullback here. An aggressive candle off that 1247 high, loses it all the way down to 11, and here comes $12 again. So the strength, I don't think, is done now in AMCI, even though it put in an aggressive green candle. It's still substantially higher than the volume weighted average price at 10.5, higher than the 10 EMA at about 10 and 4/5, I want to say. So, you know, it hasn't really lost trend. It's still putting in a nice move, so be on the lookout there as well. How we doing over here on EWTX? Into 86 we go, 74 in the bid, so not quite there for a cross, but we did get the 80 print on AZI, so good continuation on this one. I'll be looking to get some more in on a pullback, Joe.
All right, good stuff, man, good stuff. Neil, I was going to ask you, have you ever had the centipede? Did you ever eat the centipede in rum before? Because my brother used to get some stuff from Grenada and had all the bugs in it. Centipede, worm, everything. And they're like, yeah, rolling for sure at the end of the day. So, yeah, guys, we caught that. Phil, let me know if you guys eat the worm in the tequila bottle as well, too. I've personally never done that. I'd have a hard time. 64.60 here on SLV. Slightly negative on the session. But we got all out right there, guys. We're going to send it over to Sia, and then we're going to see what we got going on with our remaining amount of shares on Google.
Hi, guys. Happy holidays. Welcome back. So let's quickly go through a couple things. So as of 8:30 this morning, initial jobless claims and the continuing jobless claims number came out, where the initial jobless claims came out 10,000 lower than last time, currently at 214,000. Continuing jobless claims came out 38,000 more than last time. The 7-year note auction numbers will be coming out at 11:30 a.m. today, as well as the 30-year mortgage rate will drop at 12 p.m. today, and I will keep you updated regarding the same. Let's take a quick look at some headlines for today. Britain's BP is selling 65% stake in a $10 billion deal with Castrol, in the $10 billion Castrol unit. The oil giant wants to basically launch a strategic reset that includes a green strategy and a divestment of $20 billion of their assets by the end of 2027. India's Reliance Industries, as well as Saudi Arabia's giant Aramco are two names that have been named suitors for BP's Castor Oil deal in unit this May, according to Bloomberg. Earlier today, BP shares have opened at 1.3%, are currently up 0.07%. The share price has also gone up by 9% this year alone and has seen a 15.7% drop as well earlier in 2024. Let's also take a look at Alphabet, but more specifically Motive. As of yesterday, Motive, which is technically an Alphabet-backed fleet management software company, has filed for an IPO. And Motive saw its revenue increase by about 23% year over year in the third quarter. Quick facts about the company is that this is a software for managing corporate trucks and drivers, and its symbol in the NYSE will be MTVE, which was decided by the company as of this Tuesday. The company is backed by investors Alphabet GV, Base 10 Partners, Green Oaks, Index Ventures, to name a few. And last but not the least, we're going to take a look at Dynavax. Sanofi will be acquiring Dynavax, the hepatitis B vaccine maker, for $2.2 billion, which is around 1.9 billion euros. The company is set to pay 15.5 in cash per share of Dynavax, marking a 39% premium over the company's closing price of $11.13 on Tuesday. Dynavax shares have also jumped 37.5% in pre-market and is currently up 38.7%. And that's all for happening now. Back to the guys.
Oh, man, fantastic, fantastic. All right, guys, so we're all out of SLV. We're sitting here. I'm waiting for 313.50s here on Google. Other than that, we have the market hovering around the new high of the day. Tesla, what a monster recovery in the intraday session, guys. Unfortunately, we didn't take that third attempt. We grounded out on the second one. I'm like, you know what, let's avoid this just in case it's a grinding bid to the downside. But there you are now bouncing right into the volume-weighted average price. Let's see if Tesla can continue its move to the top side there.
All right, guys, we took out the last remaining amount on EWTX break-even as it did lose trend. This one did lose a 10 EMA on the 5 for the first time on the day, so we'll go break even on the last little amount there, but it's quick to recover. Yeah, that's kind of the cost of doing business. If you put your stop below the 10 EMA and it ends up recovering, you end up getting stopped out anyway. So moving back into the 60s and looking to continue trend is EWTX. Still holding some here on AZI. I had an opportunity to add into that 70 penny area. Didn't quite get the opportunity. I didn't have a resting order, and I was trying to focus on EWTX, so didn't get that one. So we'll see if this one can kind of take out 80s, and if it takes out 80s, I could be convinced again in a little bit more at the highs. Also closely watching AMCI here, as it clearly now, you can tell it clearly has a 12.5 seller. It's not exactly at 12.5. It's in the vicinity, in the 40s, that we can't seem to shake. That's the bad news. The good news is we're still actually putting in higher lows. So if you look at prior bar is 1139 low. Now we're dropping down into 1160. So we're still holding prior bar low. I got to tell you, though, if you're going to base it on prior bar low, you might get bamboozled because the 1110 bar ended up losing trend relative to the 1105 bar. We'll see if that happens again. I'm less inclined to want to jump into anything because I don't want the system to screw up on me again. I really like this one, but I'm not going to jump into it just given the glitches that we experienced earlier on with AMCI. And this one's a little bit below 12 now, but still really holding trend well. I got to give this one a lot of credit. Very, very directional. And I want to say it doesn't have as much bamboozlement as you typically see with these ones that are moving up as aggressively. Sober as well, trying to recover above the volume weighted average price. It's now taking out VWAP. It's now taking out the 10 EMA, but those prices are dynamic, or sorry, those indicators are dynamic. So they're substantially lower than where the previous attempt at breaking it was. I'm talking about, of course, the 1045 and the 1050 candles when it tried to get back above the 10 EMA and it failed. It's now above both of those. And what I do like here about SOBR is it's got bottoming tail candles right into that 220 area, which tells me that buyers were looking at that 220 area as an aggressive buy spot. Not an area that I would have been looking at because that doesn't really meet any of my indicator requirements, but nonetheless buyers anyway. So we'll see what this one has to offer. Quickly now back to AZI as this one dips back down into the 70s. It's a 2-candle red setup now. I'm going to take the opportunity here to double my share size. Now it's 71 on the bid, 78 on the ask. Let's see if I can get 74, and I did. I get the mid print there at 74, so not bad. Let's set up a little bit higher, possibly try to take some profits south of that 80, just given the fact that 80 has been well, and is, I should say, an area of technical resistance being the high of the day. Back to SOBR over here as it did drop down. down, got bought right back up, and now it is above the $0.50. I don't know if it really has broken the lower high trend though. It does if you draw an obvious trend line downward. It has broken that. But what I'm trying to gauge is that 260 area. That 260 area we had trouble for, which kind of got me out of the trade, right? We saw that 260 was trouble at 930. We saw that 260 was support essentially from I want to say 955 to about what the hell? No, hold on. 260 was support from 957 to about 1030. So half an hour of support on sober at 1060. So I'm going to kind of insist that it really take out 260 decisively before I get back into sober. It does look really good here though. It does look very powerful, taking out the $0.50, but still sell to 260. So I'm gonna pack my patience on that one. How we doing here on AZI? Not below the 10 EMA, but not taking out any of my ordered prints anyway. We're showing 75 on the ask and 70 on the bid. AMCI is coming down really aggressively here. It just glanced at the 10 EMA and it broke trend. So now we have a lower high and a lower low on this 11:25 minute candle than we do on the 11:15. That 11:15 was the one that glanced at 12:40 and then ended up dropping down and closing, I want to say, substantially below 12 at 11:80, something like that. The levels on AMC are as follows. 10 EMA on the 5, 1085. VWAP, 10 mid-50s, I want to say. So be on the lookout here. AMCI could be a buying opportunity, but so sober because it's waking up and trying to take out 260.
All right, man. Our final out, if we're fortunate enough to catch this, as the market is putting in a new high of the day. So maybe it's just going to be a slight delay until we get an additional pop here in Google. One thing that's positive is that we're hovering around the volume weighted average price. I like this. As long as we don't break down too aggressively, maybe we can get that move. And there it is, a nice strong pop. Keep an eye out on the tape here, guys. Some clean flushes at and above the ask. So I like seeing that. We run into 313.40s. Our chances are going to increase. There it is, a couple cent pop just like that. Spread not wide whatsoever. It's just, it fluctuates quite a bit here. So that's going to be our final out. Once again, we'll head back over to SLV. All out of that one right at the peak. We top tick that one for now, just in case SLV decides that it wants to continue to grind a little bit higher off of those indecision prints. Gaurav, I have to give it to you, brother. SLV callouts have been absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to be keeping my eye on this for the foreseeable future. I just feel that these commodities are most definitely in play, and I like it. I like it a lot. Now, as for the TQs, new HOD, SPY, HOD, NVDA starting to recover as well, too. Tesla breaking through the volume weighted average price, but now forming an indecision print right at VWAP, guys, so keep an eye out on it. But aside from that, let's keep an eye out on Google's, because we almost caught that fill. We tapped into 313.47s. One more pop, one more clean flush. I think we're going to get that fill, and then we are going to be all out Google. I don't see anything on the ask just yet. I've seen it printing 48s. There it goes, 50s. Boom, all out of Google. A nice little trade off of the bottoms there. So we go 1 for 2 on that. 50% hit rate as it's continuing to climb a little bit higher. I would love to short Tesla, considering we have our opening drive extremely weak. And then now we're starting to somewhat recover, but it feels like we're running on fumes right here, guys. Indecision print. Buyers pushing price all the way up to 481.70, and then we push it right back down to 481.43. I like this, but as soon as that top end of the wick gets broken, we're going to get out of Dodge, or we're not going to take that trade whatsoever. There goes Google. Down only 0.25% here on the session. Not too bad whatsoever. We can totally recover that on the day if it definitely continues on this trajectory. Y'all have a Merry Christmas. See you all on Friday, says Trader Forever. You as well. Merry Christmas. I hope you and the family have a fantastic time. Don't be looking at your phone too much. Enjoy the presence around you. Enjoy the family. Laugh, smile, do what you guys got to do. If you fight, arm wrestle, just get into the festivities.
AMC is halted down, 10:30 halt time, 11:25.03 tap, 10:01 halt price, 10:30. So we're substantially below the halt price now on AMCI, and it has lost trend. It's put in lower lows and lower highs. It has lost, at least for the moment, the volume weighted average price as well as the 10 EMA. The 20 moving average on the 5 is showing, I want to say 9 mid-70s, but not a level that I'd be basing TA off. There does seem to be a consolidation zone of note, I want to say from 10:30 to about 10:55, where we ranged between 10, I want to say 10 mid-50s and 9 3/4. So a bit of a range there to be alert to, even though it is below the volume weighted average price in the 10 EMA. There could be buying support here, just given what we did, again, from that 1030 to about 1055, that consolidation range over here. So AMCI, halt down. Again, in case you're just looking, 1125.03 halt time, 1030 tap, still showing 1001, so nothing to update you guys on there. I just got more on AZI. It's going to have to hold above that volume weighted average price at 355. So what did we get there? We got 62s. That gives us a cost basis of 67. So we're a little bit out of the money right now, as it's showing me 64s. I also did work into sober. I'm giving this the prior bar low. I already took a couple of beak wetters into that 55 penny area. I want to see if this one can hold trend, and it is absolutely not. Rocketing right back down. I figured because AMCI was halted that we would be, you know, the traders would start jumping into SOBR, but it doesn't look like it is, Joey. So I'm going to send it to you to throw in some stops.
Absolutely, man. Throw in those stops. Make sure you get those risk measures in place. Yeah, I mean, there goes Google continuing to climb higher, but we're not going to complain whatsoever. Now looking for that next potential trade. I mean, we only got a half hour left between Sharif and I, so I don't really need to. So maybe we'll go over a couple of names, guys. I'll wait for it now. There's going to be no rundown or anything in that neck of the woods, so put some tickers in. Let's go over some names. What are you guys looking at in the new year? We'll go over a couple of those. What is most attractive to you right now, and what is something that you slowly start to want to allocate over the year of 2026. Now, Walmart, I like that play. We're going to start it off with that. WMT, Mike Peter Ryder, what are you looking at, my brother? I'm always curious. MU options, we'll take a look at that momentarily. Rocket Labs continuing to climb, but this is going to be one of my most favorite picks. I said, hey, listen, my buddy messaged me. He's like, Joe, I want to start this portfolio, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, man, just go with the best of breed. And I think Walmart's most definitely of them. You can just go through the sectors and pick the top 2 names, in my opinion, and just roll with those. And I think you have a pretty good portfolio set up. But Walmart is just that name that continuously grinds higher. What was this? The deepest pullback, I think, this year was 25%. I understand that's pretty hefty, but recovers pretty aggressively. I mean, it takes some time. You establish a new high, and now you're starting to pull up back off of this specific level. I think dip buys on Walmart are good opportunities. But Sia, what do you have?
We're going to quickly take a look at small cap and take a look at the Russell specifically. Russell's looking pretty flat on this holiday shortened trading session. It's down but it's currently up 0.14%. Retail is actually doing better than any other sector combined. Everything else is looking pretty down. But let's take a look at 2 individual movers today. IONQ is currently trading 0.49 negative, trading lower than yesterday after Director Catherine Chow, my bad, told that they're going to be selling 5,000 shares as of yesterday's trading session. The price per share for sale was around $55, which totaled to $275,000 in total. Also, Urban, URBN, after CEO Richard Hayne decided to sell 40,000 shares as of yesterday. The company is performing well and is currently up around 1%. But that's all, nothing major for today, and back to the guys.
Nice, yeah, good look there. Bastoni, I like that. Silver, you're involved with that. We were looking at MU. Some people are attracted to this name as well. I mean, you're right at the all-time highs with this name, so buying up there, it's not a horrible strategy, but just be careful of some of the pullbacks. Nothing substantial, really. This was the deepest one, and you get 25%. I mean, if we go over to some of the other bigger names like Meta, you have a company that has so much cash flow, essentially, even though it's CapEx heavy, you're down 27% off of that previous pivot. And then if you go over to the February to the April lows, you get a 34% drop. You didn't see that in Walmart or some of those other staples names. But other than that, I like what you guys are pointing out. Sharif, what do you got?
All right, the quantum names seem to be really strong here, guys. Flat top break on a lot of these coming into play. 920 on QBTZ. Very, very good uptrend, respectful of indicators. You have the same look on RGTZ as well. Great strength on this one. Higher lows, higher highs. Couple of bamboozling prints here that breach the 10 EMA, but do find support at VWAP. But for the most part, it's been just an upward channel after that initial move up, which was, you know, that implied balanced price spike. So I trade this as a range, picking it up, you know, towards the low end of this range and then selling it towards the higher end until you get a decided breakout there. I did get stopped out of SOBR for the second time, so that one will be a big loser for me on the day. Flat bottom break. Shouldn't have been trying to take this, as I said, before 260, but hey, I broke my own rules and I'm going to pay for that. And then AZI still holding above the volume weighted average price, but it does have 4 aggressive red candles with this only 55 penny area really standing in my way before getting stopped out, before losing the volume weighted average price. EWTX was another good one for us. It's also a lost trend. Looks like the sellers were coming in there pretty aggressively at 27 bucks, and now we're on the way down at 26, so $1 off the high. Broken down, I guess really what I mean by that is it's putting in lower highs and lower lows now. So a couple of areas of saving grace where you could find support. 25.50, that's VWAP. But you do have these topping tail candles as well, which were obviously areas of resistance initially. I'm talking about the 1230 candle at 1230 price on the 930 candle. And then this candle over here at 940, you have a price spike up into about 1280. So if 26 gives way, I would be looking for those for a possible area of support. But AZI did lose trend, so I got to flatten that out here. So Joey, we're going to go negative on the day today as a result of, no continuation on these trades. So we're going to pack the patience. Not much time left, so I'll be picking up A+ trades only. We'll see whatever we can get. I have nothing else. What do you have?
Yeah, I'm just going through the chat, seeing what everybody else is up to. MDLN, all-time high, says Machiavelli. I know you were mentioning some options contracts. Was it MU, Machiavelli, that you were asking us about? Just take a look at the money IV, set up your trade, buy the time, do your thing, right? That's just the name of the game. And get out as soon as you possibly can. MDLN, sorry. MDLN. All right, so yeah, that's a new high of the day. You're bouncing off of that one there. I don't even know the actual name of this company. Super chat. All right, let's get right into that momentarily here. Fabian, I almost called you Assassino, but he is impressive. So he's going to be posted up. Maybe considering I'm going to be right in that neck of the woods. I'm not. I'm obviously being sarcastic. Medline. All right, $20. Paula. Yes, from South Carolina, one of my favorite states that I've never been to. Merry Christmas, happy holidays from South Carolina, USA. Thank you both for your great insight and knowledge of the market, but most importantly, the entertainment value. I look forward to y'all every day. Be safe, healthy, and happy. Kisses, you always want the kisses blown, but for you, Paula, anything for Paula Malone. And there goes silver. Mwah, besos. Right there. There goes SLV new high of the day, 64.80 as a high there, see ya. And then we also have Google running around 313.80s as well too. So a nice trade on SLV, a nice trade on Google. What is IBIT up to? Oh yeah, we always get the kisses from Paula, man. She's showing the love, and we blow the kisses back. Let's take a look at IBIT. Ooh, big time volume spike. Thank you for pointing this one out, Yannick Nesbitt, longtime viewer. Remember, you've been in the chat for as long as I can remember. Consolidation. And then guess what? On the 5-minute time frame, you have the volume breakout. So not too bad of a move whatsoever. Look at these 5-minute prints right here. It's kind of identical what was going on with silver. Again, we go over this quite often, is that trading is essentially price action recognition, right? Pattern recognition. So if you can find the same things happening over and over again, then you'll be all right. Do they work all the time? Absolutely not. But if you're patient enough, and that's going to be my New Year's resolution, just be more patient. Chill on the first 10, 15 minutes of the open. Don't worry about trading it. Anything north of a half an hour after the open, I find some high quality opportunities as silver is continuing to climb. But you guys see the similarities within the PA here. It's not exactly the same, but it's relatively close. And if you just look for the same things over and over again, well, guess what? Congratulations. You just built yourself a system, and now you get to rinse and repeat and refine that system. All right, so hammer candles right here on IBIT, and then you have the exact same thing, indecision print with multiple hammer candles. This is a 3-bar, I'm not going to call it a 3-bar play, but a nice 3 print right there on the 5-minute candle, so a nice break above VWAP. And then now let's see if this move here on IBIT can be sustained, or it's just going to break down.
All right, good luck. I have nothing to trade, so we're going to do the news. We're going to talk a little bit about NVIDIA and Intel. NVIDIA halting its 18A node testing as the foundry narrative starts to dwindle. So Intel shares, where are they at? Oh, they recovered a little bit. They were down about 3% in the pre-market, recovering nicely here, down 1.15. After Reuters reported that NVIDIA stopped testing their Intel's 18A chip manufacturing process, known as the 18A node, not their most advanced, full disclosure. And they inject, this whole story is injecting fresh skepticism into their near-term foundry credibility and is putting pressure on the stock. NVIDIA had been evaluating whether its chips could be manufactured on their advanced 18A node, but ultimately didn't proceed. This isn't the first time that NVIDIA has tested this. They were persuaded, let's put it that way, by the Biden administration to have a look at it, as Biden also wanted to reshore chip manufacturing just like Trump did, and they didn't like it. But Intel had made advancements with respect to yield. If you understand chips, you understand yield, but not enough advancement in that yield to get the biggest semiconductor name in the game to buy your product. Intel did respond to these reports, and they said their 18A technology is progressing well. I'm assuming here by progressing well, what they're speaking about are advancements on their yield, though it offered no specific explanation for NVIDIA's decision to kind of halt that assessment process, let's call it that. Under the agreement, Intel is developing, just before I go on, they do have still business relations ongoing, just that NVIDIA is not going to be using Intel's foundry. They do have a CPU deal as well as a product packaging deal. Those are separate. And they're not part of the foundry business. So under one of the agreements, Intel is developing a custom x86 CPU for NVIDIA's AI servers. They're also, and we also know that they're going to have a packaging product here, as Intel's packaging system is seen by industry experts to be pretty good. And NVIDIA also did invest that $5 billion into Intel earlier in the year at about $23.28 a share. And they're already up nicely on their money here, man, because $36 is what Intel is trading at. I should mention, though, that deal for $5 billion investment is still pending regulatory approval. Nike, insider buying here, very interesting look. With Timmy C, who's an independent director. He bought 50,000 shares at $58.97 a pop. Let's see where Nike is trading at right now. Nike is at $60.11, so yeah, pretty much break even. He put in about $3 million, 2.95. That was back on the 22nd of December. It was another independent director, Robert Swan. He purchased a little bit more than 8,600 shares, a little bit less than 8,700 at $57.54 pop, getting a better price than Timmy C. He only invested about $500,000 on that same day, so on the 22nd of December. Swan serves as chair of Nike's Audit and Finance Committee, and he's designated as the financial expert under the SEC rules. On a year-to-date basis, though, man, it has not been a good look for Nike. They were up substantially higher than they were now. That is because they sold off aggressively after their earnings report as a result of the weakness in sales in China, and they're down 24% year-to-date. But this insider buying is viewed, I should say, positively by some industry analysts. They say that it could be a vote of confidence that Nike's turnaround under CEO Elliott Hill is progressing. So insider accumulation, again, not a general rule, but insider accumulation at depressed price levels often suggests that management believes the market is mispricing near-term risks. Let me know if you need if you want to jump in on anything, because I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah.
UiPath also in nicely up on the morning. I think it was up to the tune of 7%. Let's see where it's at right now. 8 1/3. So great look here for UiPath. PATH is the ticker. They're set to join the S&P Midcap 400. It's going to be the start of next year, with the change taking effect before trading begins on the 2nd of January. So right on that first trading day, they're going to replace Synovus Financial on the S&P Midcap 400, which is being acquired by a company called Pinnacle Financial Partners. The inclusion of a name into the S&P Midcap or any S&P index really forces some of these passive index funds like ETFs and some others to buy shares so they can shadow the S&P Mid-Cap 400. That creates incremental demand and is often seen as supporting near-term price strength. Shares of UiPath up nicely on the year, outperforming the market at large, 26% year to date, and in fact 17% over the past month as a result of a very strong third quarter earnings and revenue results there. And they continue. So if you're wondering what UiPath does, they're benefiting obviously from the rising enterprise spend in AI as they do things like workflow automation, cost efficiency, and they have AI-enabled productivity tools. Marijuana rescheduling coming to the fore yesterday afternoon after we got word that President Donald Trump had directed his Attorney General Pam Bondi to finalize a decision on marijuana rescheduling by the end of January. He's given her a deadline. The EO the order instructs the Department of Justice to complete all required rulemaking steps to move marijuana into Schedule 3. A Schedule 3 change would materially change the operating environment for U.S. cannabis companies, especially around taxation and compliance, as well as banking access. That has been a bit of a tough one there, but it really is good for day-to-day operation as you can offset now operating expenses and business expenses against profit, something they could not do. Funny enough, until now, or not even yet, until the rescheduling takes effect. Any rescheduling, though, must be formally completed through the DOJ, the Department of Justice, meaning the timeline still carries procedural and legal risks. In case anybody challenges this now. January becomes a key catalyst window for the cannabis-related equities and ETFs, MSOS, MSOX, and many other names such as ACB, which is Aurora Cannabis. We got Canopy Growth, CGC, there's Kronos Group, CRON, Tilray, TLRY, as well as many other ETFs. And a Schedule 3 could improve cash flow dynamics by easing the burden of IRS Section 280E, which is a major overhang on sector profitability. Sia brought this. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me touch on some of this weed stuff here, guys. I mean, there's Tilray brands. These names have been absolutely decimated. If you're going to be grabbing them off of the lows, the rescheduling, I think is a pretty good opportunity to do so. There's Tilray, there's CGC, as Sharif mentioned, Aurora Cannabis. Your boy's average price on this name is probably about $1,300. So we're doing, obviously, you know how we're doing on that one, down 99.9%. It essentially can't get any worse, $4.52. This is the moneymaker for me, and that was Canopy Growth Corp sitting at $1.29. I don't think any, okay, was this a reverse split right here? Split. Okay, yeah, maybe it was like 0.01. So anyways, going back all the way up to here, we were involved in this, an early investor, obviously, you know, with the Canadian weed being obviously legalized in the earlier teens or mid-teens roughly. A nice bounce off of that. But TLRY and MSOS, I think, could be potentially good opportunities. And even the ones that are just absolutely battered, going back to ACB and CGC, sympathy plays potentially for some of the weed names.
All right, let's talk about British Petroleum, or they call themselves BP now. Sia brought us this story not long ago, but they have agreed to sell a 65% stake in Castrol to Stonepeak, and it's going to be for a cool sum of $6 billion. It values the lubricant business at $10.1 billion. BP's formal decision earlier this year to explore strategic options for Castrol as they draw interest both from buyers and private equity. They're going to retain, though, 35% minority stake in the business, and they do have an option as per the contract to fully exit after the 2-year lockup period expires. That gives them flexibility and future monetization potential in case they want to redeploy that capital into something a little bit different. The Castrol deal marks BP completing over 50% of its targeted $20 billion asset divestment plan by the end of 27. So for whatever reason, the company wants to take a strategic shift. They want to offload a lot of their assets, I'm assuming, to redeploy capital elsewhere. My first thinking was into green spaces, but as you read more into the article, it's in fact the opposite. They want to kind of reignite their, their oil, their I guess, legacy business, so to speak. And that's what the next point is. The sale aligns with BP's recent pullback from aggressive green spending, pivoting toward core oil and gas operations, kind of exactly what I said there, with the recent announcement of a new CEO. Meg O'Neill, she was the former Woodside Energy CEO, and this is BP's 4th CEO in 6 years, and she takes the helm on the 1st of April, and that's not, I guess, April Fool's there. Investors view the leadership change as a potential inflection point for the company, and market commentary suggests here additional asset or stake sales are likely, which is kind of reinforcing that focus that the company wants to deploy capital back into some legacy operations. Tesla, next here, they face a U.S. safety probe over door release designs. Nothing new for me or for anybody who's ridden in a Tesla before. U.S. auto safety regulators, they have opened a defect investigation into Tesla's Model 3, specifically the Model 3. I don't know why, despite this, the fact that this design is on all their cars, into the Model 3 compact sedan, citing that emergency door releases may not be easily accessible or clearly identifiable during emergencies. The probe covers about 180,000 cars, a little bit less, in the model 2022. Following a formal defect petition received by regulators on the 23rd of December, the regulator here emphasized that just because they've opened an investigation doesn't guarantee that Tesla will be forced to recall this and make adjustments. The defect petition alleges the following: that Tesla's mechanical door release is hidden, unlabeled, and unintuitive, which I kind of agree with. A lot of people, you know, they look for the door release in one specific area. If they don't see it, they don't look anywhere else. And I don't blame them. But anybody who realize or has been, you know, around and knows anything about Tesla knows that the door release is in the storage compartment of the door on the side. Tesla's vehicles rely primarily on electronic door latches activated by buttons, but experts argue these releases are not consistently visible or intuitive, especially for rear seat passengers. The investigation follows recent lawsuits involving fatal crashes, and the current Model 3 probe follows a different NHTSA preliminary evaluation, which was opened in September to about 175,000 cars. The Model Y was the focus of that investigation. Focus of this one is the Model 3. So same business. I think they're pretty much the same. Meta, order to suspend WhatsApp AI terms amid an EU probe. Italy's antitrust authority has ordered Meta to suspend specific WhatsApp contractual terms that regulators believe could block rival AI chatbots from accessing the platform. The decision is part of an ongoing investigation into the suspected abuse of a dominant market position. We'll have more on this in a second.
Hey guys, we're gonna dive into the sector, but before we dive in, I just wanna take a quick look at the 7-year note auction came out, the number a couple minutes ago. Current number is standing at 2.9%, which is 0.14% higher than last time. Now let's quickly move on to the sector. Oracle is up 1.4%. Ties with OpenAI could potentially drive a $60 billion in revenue. Michael Turnin, the managing director at Wells Fargo, also said that the recent pullback in Oracle's share is just super forced and overdone, and has said that the AI-driven cloud demand is still early and expanding. Apple is up 1%. Quick news about Apple. However, Apple has paused currently its plans after Texas law suspension recently. The state has stopped enforcing a law which basically said that the app retailers and developers will have to check on customers' ages. This particular law was making it a safer space, making the internet a safer space for kids and children and anyone underage. However, Apple has said that it will keep an eye on the judicial process in Texas before making any changes to the App Store, and the enforcement is currently on hold. And last but not the least, I'm sorry, it is not the last. Costco is up 2.4%. People on the internet have been debating whether Costco or Walmart is going to win the retail race this holiday season, but I think it's too early to make that decision. But Costco does look like it does have an advantage as of right now. And Tesla, as Sharif mentioned a couple of minutes ago, is trading negative 0.71% right now. It's under investigation by the U.S. automobile safety regulator for its Model 3 door release defects. And the investigation has opened as of today after receiving a petition late November. That's all, and back to the guys.
Thank you very much for that, Sia. So the watchdog there in Italy is not happy that Meta is restricting access to its AI chatbot within WhatsApp. The probe was originally opened in July, it was expanded in November, and it includes a revised WhatsApp business platform. So here's what they want. They want Meta to open up its AI platform on WhatsApp so that other AI platforms can use it. Meta responded and said, look, this is a fundamentally flawed argument. These third-party AI chatbots, they're going to place unexpected and undue strain on our systems, which are not designed to support them. Our systems are designed to support user requests from our users, not systems that use our system for their users. That's what Meta is arguing. I kind of happen to agree with that, but I see the Italian or the European regulators' point as well. They don't want Meta to kind of have that closed network, much like Apple is doing, where they kind of protect all their products, via an invisible wall, so to speak. The Italian investigation is running parallel with a separate EU one, surprise, surprise there. And the actions have drawn criticism, of course, from U.S. industry leaders and policymakers who are now retaliating. We saw this morning. President Trump is putting visa bans on several individuals in Europe. One of them was a former EC commissioner for the drafting and the passing and the enforcement of the Digital Market Services Act. And Jameson Greer, as I spoke about this morning on, I think Friday last week or even earlier than that, he listed a plethora of companies, European companies, all of which could be now subject to American retaliatory actions against these European companies. So we'll have to wait and see how this all ends up doing. Apple to open up its iOS App Store in Brazil after an antitrust settlement. So Apple agreed to the Brazilian regulators' demand to open up or to allow alternative app stores and third-party payment options, settling a 3-year antitrust case. The internal panel approved Apple's proposed agreement, and the agreement will run for 3 years, beginning once the new rules become mandatory. So here's what happened. Apple must now allow other app stores beside the App Store, iOS in Brazil. Developers will be permitted to use third-party payment processors for in-app purchases, or they can link to external websites to complete the transaction. Apple said, look, we're going to comply, but they did warn that the changes introduce what they're calling privacy and security risks for its users that it can't guarantee. So we'll have to see how that all develops. But the messaging here from Apple, it's about what they're not saying, I guess, so to speak. They suggest that Apple's kind of laying their own groundwork to defend the ecosystem strategy. They really haven't exactly outlined how they're going to do that as they're complying with their demands. I'm assuming something's in the works here to kind of move things away from the App Store so that they can get around these regulations. We're going to have to wait and see. But the probe goes all the way back to 2022 after Mercado Libre, which trades under the ticker MELI, one of the biggest fintech sort of banks in South America. They alleged Apple restricted digital goods distribution in-app payments. Apple now has 105 days to implement the agreed changes. If they breach the change, 150 million, I don't know how to say this, Reyes, which is about $27.1 million, they could be fined with that amount. They did agree as well as part of the deal to withdraw their judicial complaint that they had filed against the body. Anything you want to add?
Yeah. We got a couple of super chats here. We were short on the TQs, guys. We got a nice move to the downside, full size, full risk, really tight stop. Take the majority of it off as I seen the tape flip, and then we get out break even right there. So a nice little scalp to the downside in the TQQ's inverted hammer candle in the 5-minute time frame. Printed. Now, as for the super chats, Merry Christmas, Trader TV squad. Thank you for making 2025 memorable with your content, energy, and passion. From Dallas, Texas. Been to Dallas, and you guys know Terry Blacks. That's a good spot. Sharif. Get some extra gym reps, and Joe, best of luck with the surgery. Much appreciated, man. Thanks for those very kind words. And then he were later to proceed to post some pie, and it looks like cake there, ensuing that he wants me to try that. We will not be doing that anytime soon, my friend. Now, as for Machiavelli, $10 super chat. Sharif, Joe, Adara, Trader TV Live, a.k.a. Ram, Neil, Sean, Fabian, Sia, I'm adding those individuals. Have a Merry Christmas. See you after the holidays.
Merry Christmas, brother.
Time to go enjoy my wife's birthday. Hope everyone makes prints for Xmas. All right, happy birthday to your wife there, Machiavelli. Hope you guys enjoy the festivities and the holidays. Don't drink too much, all right? Be responsible and be safe. Once again, everybody here in the chat, we only got a couple minutes left. Thank you all very much for the super chats, for your contributions to the chat, just everything you guys do, the laughs, the giggles, the making fun of us at times as well, too. It does not go unnoticed. Thank you all.
Okay, Lockheed Martin up over 1% here on this holiday shortened day after they received a $10 billion contract modification. That increases the total value of the contract for the C-130J aircraft to $25 billion. It had been $15 billion previously. The award covers multiple things: combined aircraft delivery, development costs, integration, as well as the engineering side. And the work is going to be performed at the Marietta, Georgia facility, with the program expected to be completed by July 16th of 2035. That gives them about a 9-year runway of revenue generation, which is quite good for balance sheet stability. The contract includes, though, foreign military sales. So they're going to be sending these airplanes to Egypt, to Australia, New Zealand's in there, France, Philippines, Norway, Germany. So certainly looking at diversifying their base, and continued international demand reinforces the C-130J as the cornerstone of tactical aircraft platforms. There's no immediate funding obligations. So what does that mean? That means that right now there doesn't have to be any money transferred from the Department of Defense, the Pentagon, to Lockheed Martin, so there's no immediate cost to the U.S. government. Now it's going to be more on of when I receive the product, I pay you sort of thing. Durco as well, which is a Lockheed Martin subsidiary, they were awarded a separate contract worth about $210 million, give or take, for the C-130 weapons system supplies. And that deal runs for about 5 years, and it also has a 5-year option to renew. All right, guys. So we're about 30 seconds away or so from sending you over to the big boys. It was a very, very eventful day today. AMCI was really running up aggressively, and then it wasn't. 1247 high. It's lost all the areas of support that I see. Right into $9, moving into 9 1/3. Kind of the same thing with Sober. It caught an aggressive bid right into that 10 o'clock time slot, and then it really just started breaking down. The shorts were in control. EWTX was good, and then, you know, it really hasn't given up as much as the others off the top. 27.08 high, try to hold above $26 now. Anything you want to cover before we go?
No, that's it, guys. Best trades of the day were going to be SLV and that Google long. We took a little short scalp there on the TQQs. We can head over and take a look at some of those names. So there is the TQs, a small short to the downside. Google long was a pretty good opportunity. Oop, that's Blue Ocean, GOOGL. Doo-doo, head that over to the NQ. So this was our final out on Google. As it continued to climb a little bit higher, we were nice for 313.50s was the final out. We're satisfied with that. And then as for the final one, SLV on the Amex, guys. Let's see if we can pull. I hate how I have to double click that. Boom. And it's continuing to climb a little bit higher. But guys, it's that time. Once again, from Sharif and I, we hope you all have a Merry Christmas, stay safe, and be cool, guys.
This part of the show is brought to you by our friends at Origenics, because concussions demand fast solutions. NYSE-listed Origenics, or OGEN, is developing one that is designed to reach the brain quickly and non-invasively. So guys, learn more by scheduling a meeting today. And I am very proud and pleased to send us over for the last hour, I guess power hour now, to Sean and Neil. Take it away.